story is the problems are mounting, and so too the pressure for Tottenham. 5 points from 33. Look at this after the boos at full time. The supporters unveiling that banner. 24 years, 16 managers, 1 trophy. Time for change. Now, we've seen the likes of Jose Mourinho lose his job when he's already reached a cup final, Tim. They're in a semi-final. They're still in the FA Cup and the Europa League. But is the pressure really mounting on Postecoglou here?
It's mounting because because of that. Look at the graphic there. I mean, the losses. I mean, but they're in the FA Cup. They're in the semi-final, and they're taking a lead to Anfield. We know that's going to be difficult. They're favourites to win the Europa League. Now, it's going to be difficult games ahead, and more difficult what they played at the moment. They could win the Europa League.
So Tottenham, you think he should be fine at the moment?
They're talking about the ownership there, aren't they? They're not talking about change of manager again. I mean, what's the point of changing the manager?
Well, they've got 5 points from 33.
But you change your manager, who are you going to? They've had the trophy managers. They've had the Jose Mourinho, who's second in the league in Turkey. They've had the Contes, who's top of the league in Italy. You've had the Nunos, who got booed and rushed out of town there at Tottenham, and he's third or fourth in the Premier League, ripping it up, and Nottingham Forest. They've had managers who are not bad managers. Now, what they're suggesting there, they should change the ownership. Now, the only one who can change the ownership is Daniel Levy, or whoever decides to leave. Now, I know I was there previous with Alan Sugar. It's chalk and cheese, that football club, to now. It's a magnificent football club with a training ground and a stadium, but on the pitch, them fans want success. That's what they want. The problem, the glaring problem for me, is the recruitment. And it has been for many, many years. It's not the shortage of money what's being spent. It's where the money's being spent. Daniel Levy, I just said, third highest net spenders this summer. They spend all the time, they spend money. You can't continue to keep spending money. It's what you're buying. It's not about what you spend it, it's what you spend it on. It's not good enough. The recruitment is so bad. And I think it's an easy recruitment job to work with Ange Postecoglou because you know exactly how he wants his team to play. Now, give him some help. Changing a manager will do nothing, I would suggest. I don't think it's right to change the manager. They could win the Europa League, end up in the Champions League, win the Carabao Cup. It's the best season ever.
OK, well, you might be smiling. Ange Postecoglou certainly isn't. Another defeat, 4 in a row. Here he is, the Spurs boss.
Ange, you come in the back of a win. Leicester was struggling. You were playing home. There were high expectations and a positive feeling around. So how much does this one hurt?
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts a lot because the players gave everything again. And, look, we can look at a lot of things, but in terms of effort, I can't ask any more of this group. They're just giving everything they possibly can. Things didn't go our way today. We created some good opportunities. Unfortunately, things didn't drop for us. And, it's a very disappointing defeat, obviously, especially at home. But not because the players weren't trying, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, you created some really good chances, both in first and second half, hit the crossbar twice. Why did you feel today was hard to get it done?
As I said, the players are giving everything they can. And I think that's all we can ask for as a football club and me as a manager. If there was more to give, if they could find another way of doing things, but they're trying their hardest, and that's all anyone can ask for.
With the goals conceded, 4 minutes, concede 2 goals, do you feel in the end you got punished, especially for those minutes of maybe lack of attention, lack of concentration?
Oh, look, yeah, you can sort of analyse that, and they were disappointing goals for us to concede. But, again, I thought we had enough chances in the game to come out on top.
You've mentioned so many times that the players are giving everything. You mentioned before this match, you mentioned other times. But do you feel the run of results is maybe taking a toll mentally in their decision-making sometimes?
Oh, there's no doubt it is. When you're in this situation, they're trying as hard as they can, and sometimes, that doesn't give you the clarity in decision making. But again, it's all you can ask for is people to do as much as they can, and from my perspective, that's what I see. I see a group of players who are giving everything they can. And I know it'll turn. We'll get some players back. Obviously, again today we were short, but next couple of weeks there's some really important players coming back for us who I know will help this group.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's a matter of just powering through until you get those key players? Do you feel like with these players, and they're giving everything, as you say, you kind of hit the ceiling?
Not hit the ceiling. It's just we've been going like this for 2 months. So, they put in an enormous effort on Thursday night to get us a result, make sure we're on Europe, and then they had to back up today. And, there's at least 2 or 3 players who probably weren't at 100%, but they gave everything they can.
And with so many challenges and so many injuries, do you feel like your work sometimes is unfairly judged?
Oh, look, I'm a football manager. I get judged on results. I think that's the way of the world, and that's how I'll be judged.
Thank you, Ange.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On those results he's being judged on, as we've mentioned, 5 points from 33. Only the bottom club have got fewer. So do you have some sympathy with him? He's talking about players coming back, and the ones he's got are giving him everything. Is he alluding to a lack of quality there?
There's a lack of quality for sure, but I think at some point we spoke about playing the same way with the players. You know that you've got all these players out injured. You understand that you can't potentially, the level will drop a little bit when you lose some of your better players. And he's still trying to play the exact same way, and I can understand that. I think if you're a travelling manager or a team come up against an Ange Postecoglou side, you know exactly how they're going to play. There's no kind of guesswork as how they're going to play. How do we set up differently? And I think that's going against him a little bit, because yes, once he's got all his team plan, they're a force against anyone. But we've seen it already. We saw Crystal Palace hadn't won a game before they beat Tottenham earlier on in the season. Ipswich Town hadn't won a game before they come to Spurs. Again today, Leicester struggling like anything. They managed to get a win against Spurs. I just think there's no unpredictability about Tottenham at the minute. They're quite easy to play against. And I think the longer it goes on, the more trouble he's going to find himself in.
I really feel for him. I really do. I mean, I admire the fact that he takes it on the chin. He doesn't look for any excuses. What he's saying there is basically, reading between the lines, that they can't give me any more, but he's basically saying they're not good enough. You can't give me any more. Can't give me.
And he's desperately in need of a new face.
You can't give me any more effort. You cannot give me any more effort, and that's what you say as a manager. But you're basically sending a message to say the effort's there. They're trying their hardest, but they're just not up to the job, basically. And that's the way it's looking with the results. But I think there is a valid excuse when you are playing the mid to high teams in the Premier League. When you're playing the teams in around the bottom, struggling to stay in the division, I just think the excuses run a little bit thin, when it comes to that. But all he can do is just persevere. He can carry on with it. He's not enjoying it. Of course, he's not. Last season, he was a breath of fresh air, but he had his best players around. But unfortunately, if I was the owner, I'd be saying to Ange, look, Ange, we can't just wait until Mickey van der Ven and Romero are back fit and Doggy, and Vicario. We need to find a result. We need to find a solution somewhere else. We can't just all sit back, go on the beach and come back when they're fit and hopefully we can get a result. So he has to find a solution. He's the manager, but he's aware of that.
Well, here's one man who did get a result, and it was huge and much needed. The Leicester City boss, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Ruud, you had a positive attitude from early on in the match until the end. So how big does these 3 points feel to end a bad run, but also to come here and show a massive response to everything that was happening?
Yeah, you summed it up. I think the performance was excellent. The shape, the way the players were defending together, the back four, the way they defended, they shifted and helped a lot to keep the midfielders and the wingers high up the pitch. And on the ball, we tried to play. Like we always try. We went behind, and I think when I saw the team, how they reacted to the 1-0 down, because you think with a run like this and a goal against can really get a big blow in your confidence. But the players, they took the ball and they started to play. We created a chance with James Justin. That was the reaction after the goal, and in half-time they were calm and they were looking for the second half, and the way they came out of the dressing room was tremendous, and I think that won us the game in the end.
Second half, including another one against Spurs in his career, from Jamie Vardy. Here is the Leicester captain.
Jamie, huge show of character from the team, coming here, getting 3 points against Spurs after a bad run of results. How big does it feel to get this win?
Yeah, it's big. Hopefully it stops the rot that we've been in. We've been playing some decent football probably for just half a game, and it's let us down a bit. So as you've seen there, the lads absolutely battling through for the full 90 minutes. It's credit to ourselves, manager, with the stuff on the training field, and we've put that straight onto the pitch.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you've been playing good football, you've been creating chances as well. What did feel different today and also in the build-up? Because it's not easy coming here in the back of 7 losses in a row.
Yeah, look, we look at how they play all during the week and saw that there was space, there was a lot of opportunities to get the ball forward quicker, and we just have to capitalise on that. Obviously, at times you want to be the team that's playing the nice football, but at times during the game it's not on, so you make sure that they're going back towards their own goal. And like I said, especially in the second half there, we've got the 2 goals and we've carried on, we've battled through, we've all stuck together as a team. The lads coming off to let the fresher lads come on, they've just jumped straight into it and, like I said, knuckled down, stayed together and got the big win.
And it was definitely on, especially in those first minutes of the second half. What happened at the halftime? Because you guys came on, you were very much switched on, much more than Spurs. Yeah,
look, we started the game really well, and the only thing we can say when we come in at half-time is make sure we start even better than we did in the first half. So come out flying in the second half, got the 2 goals, and fortunately for us, that's how it stayed. And you, 9 goals in the past 12 games against Spurs. You really have a good record against them. Do you keep track of these things? Do you come more confident maybe when you know you're facing a team that you've scored so many times? Because you've been scoring throughout the season, but also against them. No, not all. Don't keep a track on it. As a striker, you want to go on the pitch and score in every single game. So that's all I'm trying to do. Get the chances, try and put them in the back of the net and help the team as much as possible. Yeah. You know this club so well, you know this group of players so well. As a leader of this group as well, how much belief, how much faith do you have that you guys can pull out of this? No, firmly, 100% back every single one of them. And that's how it should be. We all know what's at stake. We want to be playing nice football, like I said, but then it comes down to picking up the points, and that's 3 points now in the right direction, and hopefully it's the start of a little run.
Yeah, he loves playing against Spurs. He said they came out flying in the second half. They certainly did. 57 seconds, to be precise. What a dream start for him and his team. Yeah,
I mean, they first off, they'd certainly got into the right areas, but I mean, from this goal, I mean, it's poor from a defensive standpoint for Tottenham, but for Leicester. And as a centre forward, we spoke about it earlier, him getting the chances, could he convert them? And it's a really well-worked goal. He's in there in the middle of the 6-yard box where you want to see your striker, but from a defensive standpoint...
Where's Sarr going? He's going ahead of the ball. Where's Pedro Porro going? Where are you going? Look at his rash, how rash he comes in here, Bentancur. Now, then Sarr leaves him, the runner goes off him. Look, at the manager, you say, keep it tight, lads, no leg ups. You don't give them a head start here, you know, especially early on in the second half. After 1 minute, they're rash. They've got the game won at 1-0. They have to be nice and manage the football match. That's all they have to do. They're rash. They're going beyond the ball, chasing the ball all the time. It was a disastrous start to the second half. And they got what they deserved. That just little cameo there, it was 4 mistakes. 4 mistakes in about 20 seconds, Steve, and it ends up in the back of your net. It's so bad.
And then, for a team who'd scored 2 in 7 games, they got 2 in 4 minutes. El Khanous, the Moroccan international.
Yeah, again, from Leicester's standpoint, it's fantastic. But again, Tim will
Tottenham have the ball, don't they?
Yeah, Spurs in possession. But El Khanous takes up a really clever position here. But, I mean, he's got the freedom of that half. And kids' football, you teach, you go and engage the ball, and again, Tim, a finish from the edge of the box, really poor from Spurs' perspective.
Absolutely. When they lose the ball, where are the midfield? Look at all ahead of the ball. El Khanous has got that area. He's only going to get closed down by the referee. That's the only one he's worried about. Look, he's the only one in the vicinity of him. Look at it. When they break, El Khanous just stands still in the area, picks it up. Absolutely no cover, no number 6, no number 8s. They're all ahead of the ball. They all want to score goals, and it ends up where they deserve it to end up, in the back of the net. It's a fantastic finish from El Khanous, but it's so bad from Tottenham's point of view.
Again, 2 centre-halves. I think when you're allowing a Premier League player, to have a shot at the edge of the box and no one engages the ball, you're going to get punished. I mean, they're all top-quality players, and as the fact that Leicester have been struggling to score goals, you don't want to give them any kind of incentive to go and get the goal. And when you just back off, you keep backing off, and you allow someone to shoot from just on the edge of the box, you're going to get punished. And again, Spurs deserve that.
Just to round off on Leicester then, it is only 1 game, it is only 1 win, but suddenly they're out the drop zone. I mean, psychologically, after 7 straight defeats at this stage of the season, how much of a help is that in the Leicester dressing room?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, if you're Ipswich and certainly Wolves, you're looking at it thinking, Ipswich's got a massive one against Southampton next week, which is a 6-pointer, but for Leicester, that will just give you all the ammunition you need to go forward to try and get another result. And you could see Ruud's reaction at the end of the game there. He's probably thinking to himself, where's this performance been? We've needed this. It shouldn't take us to come to a place like Spurs to put this type of performance in. But for them, it's absolutely massive. Huge 3 points, but they've got to find a way now, putting a bit of consistency together and pulling away from that relegation zone.
But the other side of the